Y'all been traveling with me more and more in these photography shoots. I just figured I'd give you a glimpse of this 2014 E350 Econoline van that I just picked up. It's always about trade-off with Vandwelling. If you go with one of the stand-up vans that they come out with now, you have a lot more comfort as far as your ability to be able to stretch, but what you sacrifice is your towing capacity. Most of the towing capacity on those type of vans is only like 5,000 or 6,000 pounds unless you really get into major upgrades with those vans. With the E350s, you've got like 8,000 to 9,000 pounds worth of towing right from the get-go. You got V8, and you know your fuel consumption really isn't that much difference. It's about 15, 16, as much as 17 highway. This thing's a real beast. Took all the seats out of it. Covered the window in foil insulation. I got a backup battery set up with a power inverter. I'm charging enough of a battery charger right now off a cigarette lighter, but there's a better way to do this. I'll show you how to do that later. I'm going to be building a bunk for the back so I can sleep on the top and I can put storage underneath. Eventually I'll be setting up a cargo trailer with a shower and a bathroom and more storage for traveling.
When I turned 50, I sold my business, I bought a van, and now I travel. I live day to day and mile to mile. I spend my time searching for the perfect picture, the perfect shot. I look forward to every day and discovering more fantastic journeys.
Working in the garage, I've got some 1-inch angle iron I'll be welding together to build a bunk. I've got this 110 MIG welder that I'm putting an iron frame together, and then I'll cover eventually with this pine board. You really don't have to be super fancy with your welding. I like working with steel because it takes up less room than wood, and for me it's easier to work with. Some people would disagree, but I like working with metal, not with wood. Listen, if you're gonna weld, I'm no expert by far, but just a couple things. Make sure you get some long gloves. Make sure you cover your arms. Have a fire extinguisher handy in case you set your clothes on fire. And strongly recommended, make sure you wear leather boots because the sparks fall on your sneakers, they burn holes through them and they burn your feet. I speak from experience with this. I got my frame built for the top and for the bottom. I'm going to put my posts in. I've got these little magnetic corners. These are really cool. You put these magnetic corners in and it lines up in metal so you can get some nice straight square posts. It holds them in place while you're welding. Alright, now we put the top on, tack it on. Top. I mean, it looks like we got the whole thing coming together. Almost there. And storage underneath, and this will be the top where the bed will go. You know, I've been taking a lot of flack from friends, relatives saying, how can you live out on the road? How can you spend so much time on the road? Where do you get your money to spend out on the road? Well, you know, if you travel in a van and you really don't stay in fancy hotels or eat in fancy restaurants, you really can stay out for quite some time. Alright, so we got a frame built. I got some 1-inch by 12-inch pine board that I'm going to lay down as my decking. And you're saying, well, why don't you use plywood? Well, I'm not using plywood because if I put the decking down, this pine board, I should say, it's not decking, I can remove it. I can add it and take it off, add it. I can get to my stuff, and I can take it in and out of my van without having this big, huge, monstrous thing. And I've got this piece of bed rail that I cut down as a piece of angle, and I'm going to weld that on as a stop for my boards. It's all coming together. You'll see. And by the pure grace of God, it fits in the van. Measure twice, cut once. Give it a little paint, and shake your paint. Always shake your paint. Okay, so for all you purists out there, and when I say purist, I mean all you folks that are living in a van full-time, ultimate respect. Ultimate respect. I truly envy you. That is genuinely the true definition of what I consider freedom. I'm working more and more towards a minimalist sort of lifestyle, downsizing, simplifying. I still have a home, I still have a house, I should say, and a wife, and my full-time job is now my part-time job, and my part-time job, which is this, is now my full-time job. So as long as I'm sending money home, all is well back at the homestead. In some future episodes, I'm going to talk to you more about how I make my living on the road, and I've got some great ideas for people that want to try to make a living while you're out here living in a van. There's a bunch of ways that you can do it and do it right and do it successfully. Pretty much today, everything I wanted to show y'all was how I set my van up. My van set up, modular, everything in here you can take in, you can take out. I can use my van when I'm not traveling for cargo. I can use it for passengers. I can put the seats back in. That's really up to you what you choose and how you choose to do it. Next week, I'm going to show you a little bit more about how I outfit this van. How I set it up with what I bring, what I need, what I don't need. You should find it interesting. So check back in about a week. We'll have that up for you.